Hello, Salty Tribers.
We're recording our tech assistant.
Yes, push the button for us.
Thanks, Posey.
This is number 45.
Yep.
And today we are talking about driving v flying.
I almost said nature versus nurture just to throw everyone for a loop. Let's get serious.
Both.
Let's get real serious.
Let's talk about some real opinions.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
No, we wanted to hop on. We're getting excited and planning our spring breaks and our summers and trying to either book flights or plan out our driving schedule. And I thought, what a great idea. Like, there's benefits to both.
There she is.
And there's definitely cons to both. So we just wanted to hop on really quick and kind of get you through our thought process so you know where we stand and maybe it can help you make a decision with your upcoming trip.
I feel like even with kids, there's
This go on our finger.
Yeah.
Yep.
With kids, even there's pluses and minuses because kids, especially if you have younger kids, it's not always easy to control them on a plane.
Yep.
And you can't just be like, hey, airplane, my kid needs to run around a little bit. Like you can with a road trip.
Right.
Or at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, how many hours are you spending in a car when you could already be on your vacation destination?
Yeah, I think the number one factor that plays into it is how far are you going? Because if you're traveling across country, like a road trip, in the amount of time that we're given usually is not feasible. We can't take 3 weeks off and go on a road trip. But if you're going upstate or a couple states over, then it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
So for us, we're going to Coeur d'Alene, Lake Coeur d'Alene this summer to visit some family. And we usually fly, but you can't fly. It's not easy to fly into Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So we usually fly into Spokane, but then it's an hour drive. And so we were kind of thinking, why don't we take a couple extra days and plan a road trip? Just kind of like we did the Oregon coast a couple years ago. And I think that's what we're going to do, because if you have family or friends that you can visit along the way, you might as well kill two birds with one stone.
Well, that's what I think is great about the road trip is you pass so many awesome things.
Right.
And it's almost like, oh, let's plan our trip around visiting some of these things we usually just drive straight past. And I feel like it really enriches the experience.
Right.
And also, for me, it's always I think about, what do I have to pack for where we're going?
Yeah.
And is it way easier to pack that in a car or try and fit it into
a 3-ounce bottle or whatever?
Yes, all this carry-on luggage, and sometimes it's just so much easier to just pack up the car and go. Now, usually we stay a lot kind of in the western United States, unless we're going to Mexico or something. So we do a fair bit of driving. And we're super into the RV trips right now. Mm-hmm. So
you're so getting back to your roots.
Not even
your South County roots.
The RV.
Yeah.
I never RV'd in my life before.
I never thought I would want to until within the last few years. I'm
so
that
fun.
Sounds so fun.
I can't get enough.
Well,
anyway, but yeah, so we've found a lot of fun in just making it into a whole journey instead of let's
fly to New Mexico. That's no longer the vacation. The vacation is from the drive.
Right, point A to point B. And my kids are good in the car, which makes it a lot easier, which is another thing you have to look at flying versus driving. If your kids, when my oldest was in a full infant car seat, scream the entire trip. No matter where we were going, you buckle them in, the screaming started, and it was just kill me now.
Yeah.
But now my kids are much older and everyone's just, very content in the car. And so it makes that a lot easier for us.
That's what I was going to say too. Everyone's potty trained, so we don't have to worry about a blowout in the car or, potty stops are pretty efficient.
Get in and out. Let's go.
Yep. But yeah, same with my kids. Our kids actually do really well in the car. Like they'll bring their own toys to play with or whatever. And we watch movies too. But like on this last road trip we went to go see my parents, we took Matt's car last minute because a light came on in my car, and which has no TV. Matt's truck doesn't have a TV.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. And he was like, "Are you going to be okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." And they were totally fine. Like we brought. My phone didn't even connect to the Bluetooth for some reason, so we brought my Bluetooth speaker and we sat it in between me and my oldest in the front seat, and we played like the Greatest Showman soundtrack and like Happy Feet and like all these songs and they really got into like listening to the music.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like if there's not even an option,
if it's not even there,
for TV, then it's like, okay, we're gonna find alternative ways to entertain ourselves.
Yes. So that was actually really refreshing to just be like, and like Posey napped both times going up and down because she actually just was lulled to sleep in the car, you know? So I'm kind of pro road trip. Another pro for that is cost. Like we're a family of 6 and no one flies for free anymore. Gosh. So, and I mean, same with you, 5.
Right.
So, and it's fine. Like it's a cost we accept, but it's just like, we were doing the numbers and Matt was like, we'll only spend this much if we drive and this much if we fly. And I was like, well, how many outfits can I buy with the difference between those two songs?
Well, even outfits, yes. But
or I
here
mean,
is our budget for the trip.
Experiences, not outfits for the trip. I mean experiences for the trip.
Here's our budget for the trip, and like, what more can we do? You know, we can rent ATVs for the day and do this, or we can, you know, even... what I love so much about the RV is we save so much money on food.
Yeah, because
and so
you're
like,
making it there.
We're not eating out, you know, 3 meals a day. So now we can take that budgeted money and we can like just go have fun with it.
Well, and you're eating healthier.
For sure.
We talked about it last week. Like when you're traveling, it's hard not to just get fast food 2 or 3 times a day. So when you're bringing your own food, you can make pancakes and fresh strawberries, you know, like
totally.
It's way better.
It is. On the pro flying side, I feel like we've really amped up the road
driving.
trip.
Yeah.
I do. I enjoy driving. Like people are like, I hate to drive. No, I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
But pro flying, you know, there's just so many places in the world that you cannot drive to.
Yep.
And the time that you spend getting there can be used in other ways. So if you can fly off season, if you can find good deals, although I will say sometimes it's just better to spend the extra money and fly nonstop.
If you can.
Or spend the extra money and not fly Spirit Airlines. Like,
I haven't heard of that one. Spirit Air?
You haven't heard of Spirit Air?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's just like...
If it's not JetBlue, I've never heard of it.
No. Or there's just... Or Volaris, or flying out of Tijuana.
Oh, yeah. Also, too, I have 2 boys who are so excited to be on an airplane. Like, the thought of flying is an experience for them. So, we haven't told them that we might not be flying this summer, and it's going to break their little hearts. But, so, I mean, take that into consideration. That's a pro, too, is being able to give your kids that experience of going to the airport. And my kids think it's cool when they go through security. Like, they think it's like... this top secret FBI, you know.
Yeah, and it is a whole different experience added to your trip.
Yeah.
So for 2 of my boys, when we went to Mexico for Christmas 2 years, that was like their first time on an airplane. Too bad it had to be flying out of Tijuana. And
for more info, head to the blog.
Be a horrible experience. In case you're thinking of flying out of Tijuana, please go read my post. And you've been warned. But I mean, they didn't know any different at the time.
They couldn't.
But yeah, it adds to the whole experience, and then you're just 4.5 hours and you're there.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it all boils down to like, where are you going? Mm-hmm. How much time do you have?
And what's your budget?
Totally. And if you work within those parameters, then either way, flying or driving, it's probably going to be great. But
yeah.
Just know before you go.
But
isn't that a tagline for
something? But and also like traveling doesn't have to be this big expensive experience. You don't have to hop on a plane somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, get in your car and drive an hour away, and it's totally something new and different. You know,
Right.
We're super lucky to be in Orange County, and like LA is an hour this way, and
The
Palm
desert,
Springs an hour
yep.
this way,
Yeah.
and San Diego's an hour this way. So there's so many opportunities to just go out and see different things and just jump in your car and do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get out there.
Yeah.
And have fun with your family.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
I'm ready.
Go press it.
it.